Hello friends, and welcome to Escaping the Mouse with your host, me, Breck Roll. Alright, today we're going to do another Bytes and Nibbles segment, and this one's going to be a little bit different. Let me tell you how. This is actually going to be an Instant Pot recipe today, but I'm actually going to experiment using the Instant Pot because the recipe itself is actually something you can prepare on the stove. But I think I've learned enough about the Instant Pot that I can transition the recipe from a on the stove version to an Instant Pot recipe. So let's go look at what we're going to make. Now you may recall a few weeks ago, just before Christmas, my mom sent me a package from a company called North Bay Trading Company that included several different varieties of wild rice, and it included also some soup mixes, and we're going to try doing one of these soup mixes today. Now, if you're interested, you can get your own soup from this North Bay Trading Company just by contacting them on their website, which is northbaytrading.com, and they got all sorts of different soup options, and this is the one I was kind of intrigued by, called Spicy Southwestern Soup. Now, like I said, the recipe on the back of the package just says you do the whole thing in a pot on the stove. But like I said, I've used the Instant Pot enough times now, and between that and the little handy dandy lookup sheet that comes with the Instant Pot, I think I'm ready to transition this thing into a Instant Pot recipe. So let's look at our ingredients. As already discussed, we're going to be using some of the Spicy Southwestern Soup mix from North Bay Trading Company. We're gonna put some chicken breasts in it. We're gonna slice that up and get that inserted in there. We're gonna be using chicken broth for our base. We're gonna augment it a little bit with some butter and with some lime juice. This is actually a very, very simple recipe. So first thing we're gonna do is we gotta get the chicken cut up and prepared, and we're gonna cook that and saute that a little bit in the Instant Pot. So the first thing I want to do is I want to cut up my chicken breasts into little pieces. Now you recall, right after I moved into the house, I went over to Costco and bought a lot of meat over there, and it's all just kind of been in the freezer. So that's what this is. This is just a chicken breast from Costco, and I'm just going to cut it up into kind of little bite-sized pieces. You know, because we're going to throw this in the Instant Pot, and we're going to saute it and go from there. Now the first thing we want to do is brown the chicken a little bit, because you don't want to be putting raw chicken into your soup. So what I'm going to do is we're going to do that in the Instant Pot, and we're going to use the saute function. And so we're going to do that with a little olive oil, and then we're just going to mix the chicken chunks that I made until it's nice and brown and ready to go, and then we'll move on from there. And then in goes the chicken, and we're just going to kind of keep it moving until it's nice and browned. Alright, so I think that looks pretty good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the cancel button to turn off the saute function. And we're going to remove the meat for now and we're going to put it aside. Now, according to the recipe here, what you're going to do is you're going to use a 5-to-1 ratio between the beans and either water or chicken stock. I've elected to use chicken stock here just because I want to get a little bit more flavor out of it. So it turns out I'm going to make 2 cups of the beans, so that means I need 10 cups of the chicken stock. So 10 cups is roughly 80 ounces, so I have 80 ounces of it, and we're just going to put that in there. Let's just get them both in here going. You'll notice I didn't even clean out the pot after I took the chicken out of it, just kind of left it in there. That'll add to the flavor. And then we're just going to put the beans in. Going to put the lid on. Now I kind of looked at this little handy dandy Instant Pot reference sheet that came with the Instant Pot, and it talks about different kinds of beans that are in there, the navy beans, the kidney beans, the lentils, the split peas, and the different kinds of things that are in there. And basically it talks a lot about 20 minutes to 30 minutes of pressure, or of cooking at a high pressure, to get everything done. Now, since some of the beans aren't on the list here, I'm actually going to cook it for about 40 minutes at high pressure, and then we're gonna do a slow release on that. So that should vent the pressure over a period of time, and hopefully at that point our beans will be nice and tender, which is really what we want. So pressure cook. Pressure level is already at high, but you adjust that here. We want it at high, and we are going to cook it for 40 minutes. So I'm going to set the timer for 40 minutes. And in this case, I'm actually going to leave the keep warm button on, because after we're done cooking this, I got to add the chicken in there, and I want that to continue to cook a little bit. So we'll leave the keep warm on. Usually I don't do that. So just wanted to point that out in this case. See you in 40 minutes. Alright, so we've allowed the pressure to naturally release for about 12 or 13 minutes, which is what they recommend on the Instant Pot lookup guide. So I think we should probably be in pretty good shape. So I'm doing a quick release now to dump the rest of the pressure. And then we're going to take a look and see what we got. Alright, so we got the lid off of it, and I cheated a little bit. I took a little bit of a taste test. It's actually pretty good. When they said it was a spicy Southwestern soup, I was wondering where the spice was going to come from, but it's definitely in there. It's got a nice little bite to it, so I don't think it needs a whole lot of tweaking, but I am going to put in the chicken right now, and let's mix that in, and we're just going to kind of let it simmer for a while, because like I said, I still got the keep warm function on there, and so that'll help kind of get everything to kind of cook together. So I've mixed the chicken in there. We're just, like I said, we're going to let that simmer for a little while. I noticed that the veggies are reasonably tender, but that it wouldn't hurt to make them a little bit more tender. So, like I said, letting it soak for a while, letting it continue to stay kind of warm in there, that should help matters a little bit. And also the instructions say add a couple teaspoons of butter. So I'm going to do that. I don't know if I'm going to do the lime option. We're going to play that by ear, but we're definitely going to add a little bit of butter. All right, it's taste test time. I've been letting this kind of simmer a little bit in the Instant Pot with the keep warm function. And I took a little taste test, and I think it's about ready. So let's give it the official taste test and see how it came out. Yeah, it is. It's really, really good. One of the things that they mention on the package is you have a lot of leeway to kind of doctor this up the way you want to. It isn't actually in the recipe that you put chicken in. In fact, the packaging actually says, as it is packaged, the product is fully vegan. So if you use just water and the contents of the package, you're probably going to get a pretty good product that goes totally vegan if that's what you're into. And I can't imagine how it wouldn't still be very tasty. I don't think it's the chicken stock that made all the difference with the flavor. I think it's just the natural flavors that come from the beans and the spices that are naturally included in there. But I'm a carnivore, I admit that, so I went with the chicken stock and with the chicken breast chunks in there, and it is really tasty. So definitely recommend this. Worked out really well in the Instant Pot. If you follow the recipe and do it on the stove, you're going to spend about 2 hours doing it. I spent about half that time doing it in the Instant Pot, and I only have one thing to clean now. So works out really well. If you like this stuff, it's available through, like I said, North Bay Trading Company, northbaytrading.com. You can check it out yourself. My mom got me some wild rice and a couple of soup mixes, and we'll try more of those in the future. But turned out really good. I really like it, and I recommend it. So check them out if you're into that. Anyway, I think that is all that I have for today. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you next time on Escaping the Mouse. Bon appetit.